Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2, where I forget that how extensive the side missions are. There's on one hand, it seems like there's not really that much to them. Go to location, go about your objectives. Consider the whole the crashed freighter section. We went to find the crashed freighter. There was nothing there. We deactivated a distress signal. And then we left. Then we went to a space station, figured out that the VI was there, shut it down, and left. Went to a factory, shut it down, and left. As for like story or character development or even world development, I guess it's more for world development. The idea of just exploring the galaxy and making it feel populated with stuff. It was just unexpected that, this little, what seems like it's a little mission is actually just a little bit larger size, just fragmented into smaller parts. Rather than having one big mission stay on one planet, it has you moving about the galaxy in a little fashion. Let's take Morden and Miranda. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cycle around back and forth through all the characters. Because, the characters themselves don't really add story to any of these side missions, for one thing. And because, gunplay works as well as it does in this game versus, say, the previous game, because you don't have to worry about... Oh, refined platinum is... I cannot actually see where this... Oh, it is right in front of me. In Mass Effect 1, it was more important who you brought with. Because there were certain characters who were good at electronics, certain characters who were good at decryption. Technically, you could probably argue that it would make sense for...
Spotted.
There we go. It would make sense, I suppose, to bring certain characters with. And certain characters not. Because everybody has their own skills. But I figure, I would have a habit to, when I was playing Mass Effect 2 for the first time, I usually just brought, the same group of people wherever I went. So there wasn't really that much variety in regards to my team. So I figure it's important, at the very least, to this playthrough of the game, as a Let's Play. It's more interesting if I cycle it up. If I wasn't expecting to use Zaid again, because as a character, I guess he's not particularly great. He's just basically angry mercenary dude who wants to get revenge on other angry mercenary dude, despite the fact that they're more alike than they would probably want to admit. We got closed captioning, got ground. Resistor and gate thing. And because, now that I've completed Zaid's, loyalty mission, his story is pretty much done.
My ship.
Ah, damn it. Ah, that actually worked, I think.
Firing now.
Let's go stealth. See if that... I think I do get a damage bonus from being in stealth mode. Ah. Let's see, Eclipse targeted Agent Rawlings some time ago. We know Rawlings is connected to the encrypted data we acquired. The data could conclusively prove Cerberus' involvement in Rachni experiments, which is true, we found out about it in the previous game. We believe Rawlings possesses a cipher that can be used to decrypt the data. Without his cipher, the data could take years for Eclipse to decode. Agent Rawlings proved difficult to capture, having insinuated himself on a ship bound for the Attican Traverse. He had won over the loyalty of the ship's crew, who believed him to be a human dignitary on a mission of discovery. Our own agents managed to disable the ship and hobble its defenses long enough to extract Agent Rawlings. We lost a lot of men to obtain this asset. This data had better be worth the expense. The interrogation has failed. Despite some of our most advanced interrogation techniques, Agent Rawlings managed to evade our questions. We brought in the soft chairs. We brought in the comfy pillows. But yet he still was unwavering in his ability to withstand our interrogation. When we applied more invasive methods, he proved resistant to those as well. Eventually, Agent Rawlings' resistance caused tempers to flare. We consider it unfortunate that Agent Rawlings did not live to pass on the cipher. We have men working to decipher the encryption now. As long as we control this data, its mere existence remains a powerful tool against Cerberus. Yeah, you talk about, like, about how you're all like, you know, those lives that were lost getting Agent Rawlings? Like, I hope they weren't lost in vain. Oops, we killed him. Let's see. Closed captioning. Resistor. Gate thing, and there we go. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, by killing him, you literally made all of those lives that were lost trying to get at him, they were all lost in vain because of that. Anybody dropped any ammo here? I'm not sure I'm going to actually have to fight any more people because I've already fought a named individual. But at the very least, there is refined platinum. Although what I need now isn't really refined platinum, I need upgrade parts. Largely because all of my upgrade parts, I need more than one upgrade part in order to do any like metagel or anything like that. So many circuits to bypass. And they're all right next to each other. Truly the most... Like I mentioned earlier, like with Mass Effect 1, you had to bring somebody with you who was good at electronics, who was good at decryption. But here, there's no... The only skill involved in hacking is really if you're paying attention. As long as you're paying attention, you're not going to screw up.
This computer contains the encrypted intelligence extracted from the captured Cerberus agent. The information could adversely affect Cerberus if it were ever circulated publicly.
I could upload it to the Alliance, but the Alliance isn't doing anything about the Reapers. I could recover the data for myself, but it really doesn't matter, because Mass Effect 3 shows up anyway.
Data uploaded to Cerberus Command.
Cerberus operative Tyrone Rawlings was found dead. Encrypted data transmitted to Cerberus for decryption. Like a lot of the decisions in this game, especially the smaller decisions, like I think with Mass Effect 2, like some of the decisions before Mass Effect 3 existed, you would still kind of question, okay, what's the right decision going forward? But since Mass Effect 3 exists, and because of its ending and everything that happens in that, it's like it doesn't really matter what happens with Cerberus and the Rachni.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
From Cerberus Command, we received the data you found on the Eclipse base. While the death of Operative Tyrone Rawlings was regrettable, he died to keep this information out of the hands of those who would do Cerberus harm. By retrieving this data, you have ensured that his death was not in vain. While the subject of the data is known, the contents of the intel are not. We are decrypting the data to find out the nature of the erroneous information being spread about Cerberus. Thanks to you, we can safeguard our already fragile reputation. Well done. I wonder if anybody's actually going to ask about that.
How may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should
Nothing.
know?
Anything else?
Oh, yeah.
That'll be
There's
all.
probably, like, Kelly is probably not going to ask me about anything until I actually do a story mission. Until that point, I'm pretty sure there's not really going to be anything that I need to know. And I believe the next story mission that I want to do is the one to recruit Archangel, aka Garrus Vicarian. But for now, there's still some side missions left to do. For now, though, I suppose we'll continue the vehicle, the firewalk. Let us firewalk with me. Which hopefully will actually lead to some gameplay form. Like, it comes with a cannon, so I'm expecting there's going to be some aspect of the vehicle, the vehicular mission that is going to involve blowing somebody up. Though it's been a while since I've actually played this this particular DLC. I think I've only played the Firewalker missions once. Like, I've played through Mass Effect 2, I want to say... I think I've played it through Mass Effect 2 once, definitely, twice maybe. 3 times might be a stretch. This might actually be the 3rd time. Ah, yeah, we get to shoot some fools.
Scanning for mission objectives.
Found.
Mission objectives located.
Take that. And that. There we go. It doesn't have the machine gun that the Mako did, but it is definitely significantly faster, more maneuverable, which is nice. It definitely makes this particular kind of mission easier to do because of how maneuverable your vehicle is. And then just pumping out missiles. And I think there's a little bit of a lock-on. Oh, there we go. What button was that? Go. Cerberus pays a bounty for these priceless artifacts. And I'll talk about that later. For now, let's take out the Geth, who they definitely get pulled back in this game. It's all about the collectors. The Geth get, I believe, more of a front seat in Mass Effect 3.
Geth forces detected.
In which you've got to deal with let's see if I can get this real quick. Nope. Damn it. Damn you. Son of a...
Hull integrity compromised. Please move the vehicle away from the acid.
Why is this artifact so close to the acid? Why is it... Oh my gosh. Why is it so hard to scan this stupid...
Extraction complete.
Oh. So, yeah, like, the Geth are more in play in, Oh, it's trying to auto-target. Oh my, I'm on fire. If I stay away, does this eventually heal up? Yes, it does. Excellent. I was gonna say, there isn't really a health bar on this thing. The Geth have more of a role in Part 3, but everybody, like, the game, Mass Effect 3 kind of cycles out its enemies. Like, it cycles out its Geth, it cycles out its Rachni, it cycles out its Reapers. And that's kind of like what makes its units and unit types especially stand out, because you're always kind of cycling out the enemy types. Although, to be fair, like... and to be fair, what's different about Mass Effect 3 is it makes sense why a lot of those enemies would be fighting alongside each other. Whereas in Mass Effect 2, you're fighting a lot of different, disparate enemies. It makes sense why you'll be fighting mercenaries here and Reapers there.
Warning. Hostile forces approaching.
Hold on. Did I skip something? Was there something for me to scan on the platform back there? I think there might have been. And then I just kept driving past. Like that thing. I don't think I actually looked at it. And there's nothing. Okay. I'm sure those Geth are going to be waiting for me anyway. They won't mind holding back a little bit. I wonder how many of them are actually going to wander, like, whether they actually wander from their initial entry points, like trying to get towards you, or do they kind of just stand guard in that one specific position? I want to say they just stand guard. Yep. Truly, can they destroy? Can they even hold a candle to this scraping technique? I think not. And a little bit. So. Ah, jeez. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it's kind of tricky. Like, anytime there's more verticality to a game, anytime, like, you have to really start to consider, you know, maybe I need to jump way, way up in order to continue and progress. It can always be a little bit tricky to figure out exactly where you need to go. Also, I forget what the... Is that the boost button?
Geth dropship detected.
You know, it's a good thing the Geth have all these dropships. Otherwise, they would be screwed. They'd be like... They'd send in, like, one guy. You know, why don't they just send everybody in just one location? Because sending, like, 2 destroyers and, like, 3 guys doesn't really seem to be doing much. And it also kind of goes against the whole Geth backstory.
Acquired.
Because the Geth are more powerful as a group rather than as an individual, literally. They are, the cell processor for the PS3. The more of them there are in a group, the higher their processing power becomes. And, oh, no, damn it.
Extraction complete.
So it would make sense for them to send just large groups of Geth. Sending small groups, like just 3 or 4, would be wasteful. Because then they would have less processing power. And there should take out 1. I think I got hit by something. And that's why you got that alarm going off. Oh, a Geth Prime. There we go. And a little bit more. Son of a... Arr.
Mission objectives completed.
Yay. It's a little bit anticlimactic just to be able to be like B to end mission. Data recovered from planet surface. Historically significant artifacts recovered. Dr. Case's location not found among recovered data. Geth presence on the planet eradicated. What about the ships? Did the ships just leave? Is that what you're telling me? They just were like, you know what? You destroyed those small squads of Geth robots. We're just gonna leave. This Commander Shepard is too tough for us.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
Alright, what do you got for me? The artifacts you gathered might give us a lead on a larger prothean site. They have incredible value for historians and might be instrumental in building our understanding of the prothean legacy. Excellent work in mitigating the Geth presence, Commander. We will keep you appraised of further Geth activity should it threaten mission integrity. You know, I forget who actually assigns you that mission. Like, who are you actually doing Firewalker for? Is this for, Yeah, this is for Cerberus. So... like, they talk about how, like, this would be great for history's sake. But are they actually going to share that research with other historians, or are they just going to keep it around for Cerberus's use? Also, I'm just stopping by the Citadel because I forgot to tell this guy that there are no fish in the Presidium.
What do you want?
I talked to one of the Presidium groundskeepers. He said there aren't any fish in the lakes.
What? I told you. Why have all that water if you're not going to store something to eat in it? I don't understand aliens at all. Thanks for telling me. It's all he's talked about all damn day.
You know, saving the galaxy it's all made up of small parts as well as big parts. Sometimes it's defeating an alien race hell-bent on harvesting all technology and destroying everything in its path. Sometimes it's convincing a Krogan to let go of the notion that there are fish in the Presidium. It's all part of what a hero does. Also, I just realized that I never bothered to drop off those groceries that I bought. So, let us drop off those groceries, get some fine cuisine going for the mess hall.
Commander, those provisions you provided were perfect. I owe you. I've already thrown together some of my calamari gumbo. Here, try a bite. Truth told, it's based on an Asari recipe. Seems a little cannibalistic to me with their tentacle heads and all, but they ain't no good grub. Anyway,
so
thanks
just
again.
because they
You
have
really came
tentacles
through.
coming out of their heads does not mean that they're related to squids. Just mentioning. And let us continue the Firewalker mission. This time to collect research data on a volcano, it seems. So, I guess now at the very least it plays to its namesake, being a like a firewalker, because at the very least there's fire, there's liquid hot magma, as opposed to acid. I mean, I suppose just giant pools of acid are themselves pretty destructive, in a similar fashion. I mean, you're basically just changing the color
Systems online.
of the lake that you're not allowed to swim in.
Adverse geothermal
From
activity has rendered pathfinding function inoperable. Please use manual controls to locate research base.
from yellow to red, much like the ending of Mass Effect 3's color variation schemes. I wonder if I have to really worry about collecting any of these here, or if I just have to get to the...
Extraction complete. Warning. Area compromised due to unstable volcanic activity.
Really? That's so... I was not aware of such unstable volcanic activity. Let's aim for here. We can collect some stuff.
Extraction complete.
You know, on one hand, there's like no... I think with this DLC, because... I'm guessing there's not going to be any part where you're really in danger from the volcano. Like, unless you just fall into the magma, there's no real danger to it, so it's not exactly like you have to worry much about having the volcano's presence, as much as it's there to provide ambiance. And for this DLC, I don't really care too much for it, because it's like, alright, yeah, it's there. There's another Mass Effect DLC where the danger is really just ambience, and it's not really there. Where I think it works well is the Arrival DLC for, I think it's called Arrival, for Mass Effect 3, where you go underwater. And you're in this diving suit that's... Oh. Hello. Were they not able to have, like, an exit animation from the Hammerhead? Did they just skip that part and just have you exit and go straight into the building? Weird. I wonder if they just never bothered, making that animation. I mean, most of the time you wouldn't really need it anyway. It would just be kind of just this extra bit of work that... Let's see, what have we got? We got a wall safe, a data pad. We have detected a site of incredible significance located beneath the volcano. The unpredictable terrain will make retrieval of any... How would you guys say it? Data or data? Extremely hazardous. I feel like I've been kind of interchanging them between each other, just based on how I felt, more than anything else. I haven't really, made a choice.
I was right. This site was a roadmap leading to the main Prothean ruins. Dr. Aloy and I agree that this must remain a secret at all costs. I will not allow another Eden Prime to occur. The Geth, the Reapers, all of them. They must be stopped.
Yeah, but here's... I guess the Reapers just show up anyway. And that's the thing that I've always kind of been a little bit baffled about in regards to the Mass Effect 3's setup. Because, like, Mass Effect 1 presents the situation in which,
Activation of research-based power grid has triggered additional volcanic instability. Recommend immediate departure.
oh no, I must eat my words. Because I'm in danger, or am I? This hellish planet is a star map that points to a Prothean site of major significance. Dr. Aloy and I have mere hours to retrieve all we can before the conditions become too dangerous to continue. We learned too late that the local volcanic instability is magnified by our power grid. If we only had more time to study this, I'm sure the key to unlocking everything is here. Everything! Damn this planet! Okay, so it's the appearance of danger. Let's see, we got this gate thing, we got Closed caption. Resistor, ground. But like in the first game, like the Mass Effect relay, which was the Citadel, needed to be activated in order for the Reapers to make their way to the Citadel from dark space. That fails due to Shepard and crew. And then in the second one, I guess the Collectors are working with the Reapers. It's hard to tell at what point the Collectors actually met up with the Reapers. When did they become a thing? I don't remember if that actually is covered in the game. Like, did the Collectors exist as this kind of subset species? Before, and then they were approached by the Reapers? Did they always exist for a longer period of time? Beyond that, that distant mass relay? Because I guess there would have had to be some manner of communication in regards to how they would actually approach each other. How did Sovereign show up? Were the rest of the Reapers just in the dark space, and then Sovereign wasn't in the dark space? And I feel like there's a few questions that aren't really cleared up, and then just the Reapers show up anyway. Though I hear that the original storyline for Mass Effect 1 and 2 is kind of leading to the idea of the emergence of dark energy. I'll have to look for it, but I'm told that there is a subplot somewhere where they talk about a star imploding, and that relates to the emergence of dark space, dark energy, what have you. Then when Drew, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'll give it a go. Kapernishnek? That's a go. That's an attempt. Was replaced by Casey Hudson as the lead writer. Casey Hudson took it in the direction of just, let's bring all the Reapers, which makes for a lot of good drama. Data recovered from research station. Dr. Case's location discovered. Landing party extracted from volcano. But I've said it before. It's a bit rushed, and I think I'll hold back on that until I actually get to Mass Effect 3. That way, I'm not just beating this dead horse into the ground by the time I start playing that game. In the meanwhile, we're gonna take a look and see about any subplots that may be introduced that don't quite make it all the way.
New message at your private terminal.
From Kate Bowman, Shepard, I called in some favors and found out how to get you and what you're working on. We've got a big celebration for the anniversary of you and the others saving Terra Nova. Last year we added a memorial for you too. I guess that was premature, huh? I figure finding out who's attacking colonies is why you had to go undercover. So I won't invite you to come give a speech or anything, but I wanted you to know that all of us living on colonies are worried about what's happening in the Terminus systems. I'm really glad you're there to help. There's a lot of crazy military talk going around. I'm glad somebody's there who's not going to take the easy way out. Who's Kate Bowman? Martin Burns. Udina said this would reach you. I wanted you to know that I haven't forgotten what you did for me the day those crazy biotics took me hostage. You talked them down and you got me off that ship alive. I won't lie to you, I took this job for the pull and the power. I saw the biotics issue as a stepping stone, something good to put on my resume, and I was wrong. We all serve humanity in our own way. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to see to it that humanity reaches its potential with a minimum of bloodshed. I'm getting letters of thanks from L2 Biotics, who just received their reparations. Those letters should really be coming to you. I just thought you should know. Good luck. I've taken some political heat, so I don't know that any offer to help you would ever be useful. But if you need me, I won't let you down. That was the last I heard from Martin Burns. That was a close one on Karamunto, Shepard. A disturbing fact has come to light in analyzing the channel you use to transmit your findings. Unauthorized transmissions have been sent from the MSV Rosalie to an unknown destination. It's assumed this is how the Geth are tracking... Is that the plural short form of doctors? I've just realized I don't think I've ever used the plural short form of doctors before. Doctors Case and Oloy. The data you retrieved gives us a definite location for Dr. Case's prothean site. The doctor was certain that the site held a prothean revelation of enormous significance. It is recommended you head there as soon as possible to counter any Geth retrieval missions already in play. But before we go on to said Prothean ruin to find something, probably nothing, but maybe something, let's head over to this remaining Firewalker site, where we will most likely just be doing battle with various Geth from the vehicle until they have been destroyed. Though I don't know if it's too bad that the, again, another extreme temperature. We've gone from acid to fire to ice.
Extreme temperatures may degrade engine performance. Mission objectives located. Atmospheric data acquired. Engine temperature stabilizing.
Huh. Okay. So you collect a node, and then your temperature gauge resets for some reason. So I suppose that's kind of interesting. Like, I was saying how the volcano doesn't really present any actual danger to the vehicle. Now that you're in this kind of remote tundra filled with ice, there is actual danger to the vehicle.
Extraction complete.
And I was expecting to be fighting Geth here, actually, for some reason. But I highly doubt I will.
Temperature falling.
Only because of the extreme temperature. And in that note, I was going to say, like, I don't know whether it's a good or bad thing that they weren't able to spend much time developing the Hammerhead sections beyond just the DLC. Because, like, you look at the Mako sections, the vehicle sections in Andromeda, and at the very least, with all the problems that Andromeda had, the vehicle sections are clearly more thought out than they were. They're more refined, should I say, than Mass Effect 1. There's the ability, you got more methods of upgrading your vehicle. Your vehicle does different things because of that. And because of the open world nature to the game, that means you're going to be spending more time fighting from your vehicle. Like with Mass Effect 1, your vehicle only had 2 weapons. It had the cannon that fired explosives, and it had the machine gun. And that's it. You never upgraded your weapon, you never swapped out equipment, and the fact that they've also kind of added equipment to the vehicle for Andromeda makes those sequences a little bit more meaningful.
Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
But that also kind of requires an open world.
Extraction complete.
Or at the very least, it requires larger areas for you to drive around in.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
There we go. There we go. Alright. Because if you don't have this big area to drive around in, it's basically just an obstacle course.
We did it.
And I think that's one of my issues with Mass Effect Andromeda, is because it's open world, just makes everything take a lot longer. Like, whereas like Mass Effect 3 is much more focused. Mass Effect 2 is much more focused. Atmospheric data recovered from all 10 nodes. Amazing. Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect Andromeda, Andromeda even more so, loses its focus because of the constant need to explore and drive around, map out the terrain, do side missions. So on that note, I would imagine that I'm fine with the fact that they didn't also worry themselves about developing a driving engine.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
Commander, a very capable team is analyzing the data you gathered from the Geth's research into an atmospheric change. We hope it may open up new avenues for terraforming procedures for future colonies. The tech used in the beacons also contains communication innovations that should help us develop better systems to reduce atmospheric noise. There is no evidence of prothean activity on this planet, which is why I was able to unlock the prothean ruins without even touching that mission. Okay, so it looks as though I've got another 3 systems with a bunch of planets to scan. I'm going to worry about doing that a little bit later. Let's just first complete out the Firewalker. Hold on. The Firewalker mission first.
Anomaly detected.
And maybe scan this planet. And then later on I can worry about scanning all those other planets that just appeared. Alright, now that I'm done probing that planet, so at the very least, I figure it's important to at least probe the planet that I'm landing on. The main reason because if I deselect from that planet, it will come up as like a completed on the percentage-wise. Like the percentage of the galaxy explored doesn't care if the planets were fully probed or not. It'll still show up on the percentage discovered. And I like to keep that percentage just focused on planets that I've not just found, but also fully depleted of their resources. That way I don't have to worry about ever coming back to those planets, expecting to find resources there.
Kinetic barrier strength beyond conventional weapon capability. Recommend disabling power sources.
Alright, let's go find some power sources to disable. Like right here.
Kinetic barrier strength reduced.
You know, it's too bad that they've got all their power sources outside of their facility. Like, it didn't work for the Rebellion. Actually, no, the Rebels, nope, there we go. The Rebels' power source wasn't outside of their shield, it was inside the shield. And they just landed, landed the walkers onto Hoth, and that's how they eventually, knocked that shield down. But they weren't able to target it they weren't able to target those generators from outside of those shields. Although I suppose, like, the shields in question were more capable of stopping laser fire, but not stopping people from just walking right through. Which is an interesting idea of, like, a limitation to technology. Like, these shields can be apparently destroyed by gunfire, just not what's on the Hammerhead. Although that makes me wonder whether the SR2 would have been strong enough to destroy those shields, because the SR1 does have its own main cannon. And is used to fire against Sovereign at the end of Mass Effect 1. So in theory, the SR2 has its own cannon as well.
Kinetic barrier strength reduced.
So in theory,
Kinetic barrier deactivated. Path is clear.
like, I wouldn't really have to deactivate the kinetic barrier. All I would have to be like is say, hey Joker, just shoot this barrier there. And we got some on-foot sections too. Are we going to have a more meaningful fight? And also, yeah, it just loaded from one section to the other, so I'm pretty sure they just never bothered to come up with an animation. No fight. The site is spectacular. Time, however, has proven to be the real enemy. Even with those Blue Sun thugs hired to protect the dig site, we barely managed to erect the shield before the Geth arrived. How can they know our movements almost before we do? Am I beaming my thoughts directly to them? I must find out how they are doing this. I shall ask Dr. Aloy for whatever help he can provide. Maybe Dr. Aloy is working for the Geth for some reason. Was that a spider or a bug? Also, if the Blue Suns were here protecting the dig site, what happened to them? Because if the shields were placed by the people inside the facility, like, why didn't the Geth just destroy the shields in order to get inside? Alright, so we got some dead Blue Suns.
Dr. Aloy must have been indoctrinated by the Reapers. I found him sending our data to a Geth ship. I won't be responsible for another Geth attack. Another Eden Prime. I've silenced Aloy. Forever.
I've taken out his voice box. Now he can no longer speak, but he will still be able to do science for some reason. Oh, you say I should have killed him. That would have probably been a good idea.
This should come in handy.
Ooh, biotic damage.
It's too late for me. They're still in my head, stealing my thoughts. I can't keep them out. I've got no choice but to destroy this relic. And myself.
And that's the thing, though, like, Prothean relics are a bit odd. Like, there's the Prothean relics that taught everybody how to go through space. That's one thing. It never really, I don't think that there's an explanation of how that data is presented and how we acquire that data, but clearly somebody had to turn it on. Somebody had to be able to understand it. Alright, so we got that one, white line at top, angled read, and there we go. And then this is a device similar to the orb that was found in Mass Effect 1. I forget its significance. Like, you were supposed to bring the specific artifact that you had from the consort, and it revealed a vision. It revealed a vision of Protheans. Dr. Case would never understand the deal I made with the Collectors. He's obsessed with these Protheans. He would sacrifice everything to learn their secrets. It nearly cost my life, but I did it for you, Helen, to ensure you remained safe. The damned Collectors agreed to spare your colony in exchange for this Prothean find. I can only hope you remained innocent of any of this ugly business. It was all for you. So he wasn't indoctrinated. Just used. Also, looking at this kind of makes me want to watch either the movie The Abyss or the movie Sphere. Huh. Okay. Dr. Case's research station found prothean artifact recovered. Does it do anything? I don't remember. Although it reminds me of a tweet I just read the other day where it was talking about the idea that a black hole that had the mass of 5 Earths would be about that size of the orb that just dropped. Because of how efficiently it collapses matter.
Message at your private terminal.
It definitely is very reminiscent of the ending of Men in Black 1. From Moreland, I'm sorry, my mate. I leave you for a Krogan because you are not endowed as good as for your species. I'm sorry, my mate. I leave you for a Krogan because you are not endowed as good for your species. Do you fear those words? Moreland's famous shop sells many enhancements online that are not restricted by Citadel trading regulations. Whether you require hormone augmentation, cybernetic enhancement, or gene-biotic xenografting, Moreland has many things you'll be pleased with. All species and gender order online from Moreland's famous extranet site, hot linked from this message. Product availability varies by local trade regulations. All Element Zero products require shipping surcharge. No shipping to Omega. Krogan reproductive organs not available. Other restrictions may apply. You're too small. The burst of energy that coincided with your retrieval of the prothean artifact contained coded information. Most of the data was beyond our ability to track, but the threads we were able to decrypt have provided new avenues for research on energy transfer and biotics. It will keep the scientists busy for years to come. The data indicates that the artifact is currently inert and not dangerous. We wonder, however, that if Dr. Case had more time, would he have unlocked its secrets? We will continue his research. A landmark find for humanity. Good work, Shepard. So, did Dr. Case manage to do all of his research without actually touching the artifact? Because that seemed to be the thing that kind of made the artifact inert. Or does Shepard just know how to touch artifacts in the right way? Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.